I'm content creator Mary Barnett, also known as Mobile Mary. I'm the founder of Another Brilliant Idea, and I'm dedicated to helping women entrepreneurs grow their business with digital marketing and communication tools, tips, and resources that empower them to be bold and stand in their brilliance on my globally recognized show, Brilliant Marketing with Mary. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Brilliant Marketing with Mary show. And I'm Mary, coincidentally, Mobile Mary, as some people call me. And I'm super excited about you being here on the show today. I always bring brilliant guests, they have so much value to share. And today is no exception. We're going to teach you not only how to be more energetic in your business, but how to be more energetic personally. Because as I was talking with my beautiful guest, if you don't feel good, it's hard to show up really well for your clients or even for yourself, right? So she's going to actually, this is a healthcare practitioner that's actually going to share with us how we can be the best that we can be, how to feel good from the inside out, right? If you're feeling good, you could take over the world, right? But if you feel like poo, ew, ooh, that should be a t-shirt. Feel like poo, ew. Claudine, you can use that. Okay. So, so if you haven't, well, actually, by the time this airs, I will have already shared my masterclass on AI, but I have more masterclasses coming up soon. So if you're interested in learning more from me, I actually have a group called Marketing Innovation Playground, where serious success meets creative fun, or the other way around. But it is the Marketing Innovators Playground. And what's awesome is that I get to share all kinds of cool tech stuff because I'm really a geek. I love sharing new software that I learn about and use, and I love to share that. I also love, I've been in the marketing game for this Christmas, I'll be 35 years. So I love bringing my experience of promotions and creative and playful marketing that really helps attract your ideal audience and attracts them to you so you can make more money. So if you're interested in that, comment in below and say, hey, I'm interested in the group, or anything you want to say, and I'll send you an invitation because I would love to see you inside there. So without further ado, I think there might be one or two people in the world who don't know who Claudine is, and you need to know her because she is absolutely beautiful on the inside out, and she's helping other people do that. So I think that's awesome. So let me tell you a little bit about her before I bring her on. So Claudine Francois, which is a fancy name, I love it, is a content creator, podcast host, and creator of the Empowered Radiance Method, helping women become more empowered, taking control of their life and lifestyle, giving them back their health, and having enough energy to become radiant, positively affecting the lives of those around them. I love that. As a board certified functional medicine and holistic health practitioner, and she just got a huge title behind her name. Like, she's a functional medicine practitioner. We're gonna dive into that more because it's really, really fascinating. She has helped scores of driven women step out of the burnout and overwhelm into their most radiant life so they can have all day energy, dream, focus, motivation, and their healthiest body to take on the world. So without further ado, let's bring on Claudine. Yay!
Hi, Mary. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, you are so welcome. Thank you for being on my show. I was actually on your show and had so much fun. I'm like, girl, you got to come on my show. So
Absolutely.
it is all good. So today's show is actually called How to Energize Your Business and Your Health. And Claudine, tell everybody, how did you get into this? Because I'm always seeing you making really cool recipes and finding all kinds of fun desserts, things that look so yummy, but they're obviously really healthy. So how did you get into doing what you do?
Well, it's a crazy story because my background is in accounting. I spent 25 years in accounting. I was the CFO of multinational corporations, and I was killing myself from the inside out. I thought I was healthy, right? But I was stressed to the max. I had brain fog, I had migraines, I had small children whom I never saw because I was at work all the time.
Wow.
And my health started, I was in my 30s and my health was deteriorating. So
Wow.
I realized I need to figure this out. And that is what started my health journey. And then
Okay.
as I went through that, I started helping women with the things that I had learned. I started to realize there was another layer to it, which I don't know if you want me to go into that yet, but there was definitely more that I needed to learn, which is why I got that additional certification you mentioned.
Right. And I mean, because we were friends on being on the network together, I mean, I was kind of watching your journey of going through this. Like it's serious business. Like you're being a, I mean, I've heard of this just briefly, but when you say functional medicine, that seems like it's a little bit more like obviously natural. But tell me, what is functional medicine?
So traditional medicine is where you go to a doctor, you play the sounds like game. You tell them your symptoms and they say, "Oh, that sounds like X or that sounds like Y, and let's run a test for X or Y, and then we give you a pill for X or Y." Or we take that thing out. That their thyroid's not working, we don't need that. Let's take it out. Your uterus is causing you problems. Let's get rid of that thing. So that's traditional medicine. In functional
Right.
medicine, we are looking to get to the root issue to resolve the root issue. Because let's just use thyroid as an example. Your thyroid doesn't wake up one day and just say, I need a me day. I just need to take a break. Like, I don't really want to be pumping out anything that's going to help you with metabolism. So I'm just going to stop. Right? It doesn't do that. There's a reason why, because your body is trying to do what it's trying to function.
Right. God
Um,
made us to all work, everything to work together. And like you wouldn't put a part in if it wasn't supposed to do something for you, right?
right. No extra parts. Yeah. It's not like it's kind of like you get a car kit. Like they don't usually give you extra parts. Our bodies are not made with extra parts either.
I mean,
You
we're
take a
not
part
like a
out.
Kia. We're not a Kia products. They always have those
My,
extra screws.
right. My husband says I'm like a Lamborghini, but that's another story.
Ooh, okay.
He's a car guy. But yeah, the point is for functional medicine, we're trying to figure out what is going on in your body. Why are you seeing these symptoms to resolve that root cause? Because if you don't resolve the root cause, your body is going to show up with symptoms elsewhere. Because until you
Right,
fix it, it's just going to keep popping up until you pay attention or you get diagnosed. You actually get a diagnosis.
right. Well, interesting. Somebody just it gave me an analogy that it's kind of like our health is like a dashboard on a car. So when you
Mm,
start seeing the check engine light, right? You need to go to
mhm.
someone like Claudine, go to you that because I'm not speaking in the third person, because then you can find the root of that and shut that light off before your engine falls out of the car and you drive over it.
Right. That's a perfect example. You don't just ignore your car's warning lights. Why do we ignore our body's warning lights?
Right. Well, I
Because it's not
kind of
going to
do.
get better on its own either way.
Right. And I actually do ignore the ones on my list. I'm like, kind of, because husbands are good for, you know, vehicle maintenance, lawn care, bug squishing. Like there's certain things that's there
Mhm.
for
Taking out the
me.
trash.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I love it. Well, when we do shows, as you know, on our network, we actually have market shares, right? And so something you shared, I thought was really cool. You said feeling energized and creative is the best way to prepare yourself for marketing brilliance. So let's get right into the title, of the show, which is how to energize your business and your health. So explain a little bit about that share.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you and I both run our own businesses. I've run several businesses, and I've noticed that when I don't feel well, I cannot be creative. I'm
Yeah.
definitely not patient with people. And by people, I mean clients, spouses, children. I only have one spouse, but people. You definitely can't come
No
up with
judgment here.
strategy.
It's okay.
Yeah, right. Honey, there's only one of you. As far
That
as
would
you
be
know.
exhausting, by the way. If you had more than one husband, I'm sorry.
Seriously.
Yeah, I
No,
love
I
my
mean,
husband. He's so good, but like having more than one, that's a lot,
yeah, I mean, I should get like a wife, right?
right? Like
That's
sister
right.
wives.
We all need white. Perfect.
Yeah.
So, you can't be creative, patient, you can't strategize if you're exhausted and burned out. And I know
Amen.
because I have burned myself out to the point where my body just shuts down. And I think that happens for a lot of us go-getters. We will go, 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 go until we are literally on the floor like a
Yeah.
puddle,
Yeah.
you know? And so the idea is, of course, to not get to that point. Because if we do, then we can go down some rabbit holes with our health. So the
Yeah.
idea is to prioritize our personal well-being if we want to be able to have the energy to pour into our businesses and maybe our spouse and our children and friends,
Oh, them.
family.
Yeah.
The
No, it's so
extras.
true. So what would be, I mean, I know we're going to be getting into some actual tips, but um, so what is your check engine light? Like, what is the first thing that basically makes people get to the point where they want to call you?
So yeah, the symptoms that pop up. So the ones that people don't call me about. All
Oh,
right. The ones that they don't call me about was when they start feeling sluggish, or they're just not able to, like, they have a lot of food intolerances pop up, or they're just not able to handle life stressors like they used to. They start to notice that they're irritable all the time, or at certain times of the month, or that they've got bloating, or after meals, just all these, like, quote unquote little things.
right.
But they all, they start happening more and more. People, a lot of people get headaches. A lot of people just want to pop pills, or think that's their only way to get rid of certain symptoms. And those can actually cause more harm than good. So that's what they usually don't call me about. But when it gets to the point where it's impacting their daily lives, like for me, I was out of commission with migraines, right? Like I literally couldn't move. I couldn't function. When you get to the point where you can't function, with other people, it could be digestive issues, right? Like they can't go on a hike because they're just worried. They can't go to family dinners because they're like, I don't know what's going to happen. So it's usually when it gets to the point where it's stopping something in their life, stopping them from doing something in their lives, that's when they usually pick up the phone.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's almost out of desperation. Because that was the thing I was going to ask you. Like, how do you help, women? I mean, we were talking about this. Like, when women have tried, they think they've tried everything, and they want more energy. They want more vitality. Yeah. But
Vitality.
they're barely pulling themselves to the day with their, eighth cup of coffee.
Oh,
So how do you help them at that point?
oh, don't get me started on the eight cups of coffee. I had a client once who was drinking 20 cups a day. I know she's down to one. Yay! Um,
Actually, that's a testimony right there. You could get someone
yeah.
from 20 to 1 cup. Wow.
Right, because there's a lot that can happen with 20 cups of coffee. So to answer your question, what do I do to help women who are in that state?
Right.
There's always the basics. We start with the basics, right? What are you eating? And is it the best thing for your particular body? Because I know a lot of people will say, oh, I'm paleo, I'm keto, or I'm whatever. And that's fine if it works for your body.
And
But
how do you know if it doesn't work for their body?
well, that's actually the last thing I was going to say, which is the testing. We have all kinds of testing. So
Oh,
we have food sensitivity testing, which the people will poo poo. You said this earlier. People will poo poo food sensitivity testing. This is a different kind, maybe than they've heard. This is not the off the counter ones. These are a blood draw. They're not saliva samples, and it's MRT, not IgG. If you want to go into depth on that, but point is, it's
have
food
you
sensitive.
have you ever heard of the ALCAT test?
No, I don't think so. What is
Okay,
it?
when my daughter was 13, I took her. I do homeopathy with my kids, and we went to whatever homeopathy
Mm-hmm.
practitioner, whatever. And he gave her and me the ALCAT test, and I
Mm.
believe it was a blood test, but it showed like which foods were. So I was just curious if that was even a thing anymore.
Well, the ones that people tend to take that don't work as well are like the Viome or the Everlywell, like the over-the-counter ones.
Oh,
So those ones. Um,
so
so to find out
don't
what
waste your
diet,
money on that, basically.
right? So to
Okay.
find out what foods are right for you, you could do a food sensitivity test. You can also do a metabolic typing test, which tells you, are you more of a meat type person? Are you more of a plant-based type person? Right? So there are tests
Oh,
to do for that.
wow.
But there's also the basics, right? Like let's um let's eat more whole foods instead of um the fast food or the processed foods. They're going to be basics like that. Lay off the
Right.
sugar maybe, or replace it with natural sugars. So there's diet, there's rest.
Okay.
A lot of women these days, or people in general, but women especially, think that they can get by on no sleep, or just like you said, 8 cups of coffee. That is actually, our body needs that downtime to regenerate our cells. And if it doesn't, not only are we cranky and annoyed the next day, we tend to eat more, and we tend to eat things that are, the comfort foods.
Yes.
So it's all kinds of bad. Um, Exercise, and I say exercise with a caveat, because some women are so depleted that they actually need to exercise less. Some of us are pussy. So not too much or not too little exercise. You
Oh,
need to find the
wow.
right
Okay.
type for you. And again, there's a stress and hormone panel that we take that tells us what phase you're in. Like, are you in exhaustive phase? Are you in compensatory phase? Are you in the acute phase? And that tells us where you should be in exercise, in terms of exercise.
Wow.
Um, Stress reduction is a big one. We are all walking around with like chronic stress, which is that actually stress is what the stress response is catabolic, which means it's breaking down your body for quick cortisol energy, right?
Wow.
So if you're chronically stressed, your body is literally eating itself.
you serious?
And the problem I was running into before I got my functional medicine certification is I could tell women this all day long, but until they could see the results on their personal tests, it was like, yeah, but I'm fine. I can handle it. Right? We all think we can handle it. And
Right.
we seem like we're handling it, but our body on the inside, it is suffering.
So that's actually something that I'm personally like people say, well, I remember I went to my acupuncturist because I get a lot of headaches, so I think we probably should be talking soon. But he has very, broken English. He's from Korea. And I said, and so he doesn't speak much. So I found him like, what are you treating me for? And because I was thinking, oh, this, that, and he put the needles in all these weird places, and he says stress. And I was like, oh, and he said, and he took my shoulders. This is the end of the session, right? And he
Mhm.
says, stress. And he closed his eyes like that. And I was like, okay. And he goes, calm, calm. And I was like, okay, like, okay. And he's like, be calm. And I was like, okay. Like, I was like excited, like, what are you treating me for? Because I feel so much better. And it was interesting. So when you say stress less, like, how do you find out what it is that you're stressed about that you can remove? Like, to me, it just seems like the great unknown.
Yeah, I love acupuncture because it helps our detox pathways. They're oftentimes focusing on the liver, and the
Okay.
liver is what's pulling out all the toxins, which is a huge stressor on our body.
Okay.
Your question was, how do you find out what you're
Yeah.
stressed about?
Yeah.
I think,
Because I can make a list.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, for a lot of us, it's probably pretty easy to like figure out, well, there's this problem and there's that problem, and there's this thing I'm doing. And a lot of it has to do with just being constantly busy. We don't take a lot of downtime for ourselves. And sometimes, like, I started, Joey Garrity, she has the Love Capacity book, and
Right.
I started her morning practice. And you're taking time to meditate, you're taking time to visualize in the morning, you're taking time to say nice things to yourself, you're taking time to do gratitude. Just that 20 to 30 minutes in the morning can really set you up for a day where you are more resilient, where the stressors of the day just kind of roll off your back a little bit rather than freak you, like, and I'm talking about me specifically, freak you out. Where everything your kid does is like gonna annoy the heck out of you, or your spouse, where you're just like, no, it's all right. It's good. It's okay that
Yeah.
you didn't do the dishes again.
Yeah.
Fine.
There's a term, you're working my last nerve. It was this from some movie. You're
Right.
working
This
my
gives you more
last nerve.
nerves to work with, I guess.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that seems a little bit more manageable. So basically, I have a couple of questions for you. Like, what are your top suggestions for things a woman can do, like right now, to start balancing the hormones, gain their energy, boost their metabolism? I mean, obviously, we talked about the basics. So once we have those covered, like, what are some action steps people can take for that?
Well, I think the action steps, as much as people may roll their eyes at this, they are the basics. It is get
Oh,
7 to 9 hours of sleep per night, the end. Mark it in your calendar, put your phone on do not disturb, tell everyone to go away. Don't answer your phone after. Actually, the best hours of sleep for humans are between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. And every hour of sleep before midnight is worth 2 hours after midnight. So if you're the kind of person that, and again, I'm not judging anyone because I have been this person, I am sometimes still this person. If you're the kind of person who wants to stay up late and thinks, oh, I'll just make up for it on the weekend, or I'll stay up late and I'll sleep in, you're not getting the best quality of sleep. We need that quality of sleep because there's so many REM cycles that happen, and they happen the best before midnight. So sleep
you
is
know,
definitely number one
wow. Okay, and that's so simple.
ish,
You
right?
know, yeah, it's so simple just to make that. And I was told that when I was very, very young about that, and I really didn't believe them.
Yeah.
So thank you for confirming that. I will call that person and tell them I'm sorry that I made fun of you.
Yeah, I feel like calling my mom all the time. You were right, mom. You were
Yeah,
right.
right. Yeah, we never appreciate what our moms say. I'm actually writing the note so I can put it here. Um, we never appreciate really what our moms, like the wisdom, right? Until we have children and have lived a little bit. Because when you're teenagers, you're like, oh my God, old lady, you don't know what you're talking about, whatever. Hopefully you don't say it out loud, but all of us have thought
Well,
it.
yeah, my mom would say to me all the time when I was working in corporate, like, Claudine, stress is really bad for you. You need to not be so stressed. And I'd be like, I'm handling it. I'm fine. Okay. So
Right.
obviously the women that I work with, I get it because I've been there. Yes. Finding ways to reduce your stress, whether it's taking a walk, doing yoga. I mean, for a while I would take walks several times a day at my office because I was so annoyed with people. I like just literally left the building. I didn't care that it was 110 degrees outside and I'm walking in heels in a vineyard. Like, I have got to get out of the building. Taking a walk, taking some
Wait a
different
minute.
deep
You were
breaths.
walking in a vineyard without a glass of wine in your hand? Come on, girl.
Well, one, they were not wine grapes; they were table grapes.
Oh,
And two, it was a work day, like during the day. And
5
three,
o'clock somewhere. I'm just saying.
wine was giving me the migraine. So,
Oh, so you found that out. Okay.
Mhm.
Interesting. All right. So again, I'm trying to put this in here so if anybody's watching in the replay, they can get all the goodness like spelled out in front of them. Um,
Mhm.
it seems like a lot of this is common sense, but you actually have degrees to back up this knowledge, right? You've taken classes, you've got certified, like, you know what you're talking about. I really, really appreciate it. So, what is the number one thing women are doing wrong, quote unquote, to feel better? And what should they be doing instead?
The number one thing is we're blaming ourselves,
Oh,
right? We're pissed off that we're doing all the right things, but they aren't working. And we're like, I just need to try harder. So many of the women I know have tried themselves harder into the ground, right?
ooh, that's good. Try themselves harder into the ground. Wow.
Yeah,
You're right, because we never think we're doing enough. If we would just work harder,
exactly.
just do more, just help people more. Wow, really?
And the place I see it the most is that when women get to be 40s and better, they might start to see a little bit of extra love in the middle. And they think, oh, I just need to work out more. I need to diet more. And the problem is that that is an additional stressor on their bodies. And they are probably getting that extra love in the middle because they are stressed and their hormones are out of whack. So adding the extra stressor of, say, intermittent fasting or going on a low calorie diet or trying like all the hit workouts is actually making things worse. So yeah, blaming ourselves doesn't work. What is the number one thing they can do is that they can, one, try. I know some people are going to like probably send me hate mail for this. Try reducing things that are actually making your body more stressed, like, say, alcohol or sugar, because
You mean moving those things, not trying
reducing
more of
them,
them?
try
Oh, I thought
reducing
you
them.
said, "I want you to do more of these things, alcohol, sugar." I'm like,
Oh, yeah,
"Ooh."
no, no, no. But like alcohol, especially, has a really negative impact on women's bodies. And as we get into our 40s and beyond, it actually has, you could just try, basically, you could try is noticing when I have one glass of wine, how well do I fall asleep? How well do I sleep? How do I feel the next day?
Right.
When I have two glasses of wine, when I have no wine, right? You can basically do experiments on yourself and decide, how do I want to feel?
Yeah.
Which version of that
Wow.
works best for me?
Wow. Okay, girl. Seriously, it seems so simple, but it makes it so hard to implement. But by having you on a team, right? If you're part of their health team, you can really like, I wouldn't say smack them around, but help them
Support.
stay accountable, right?
Yeah. Support and accountability. Yes. And the data was what was missing in my practice beforehand, right? Because I can
Oh,
pinpoint this is why you're feeling this way. And these are the things we can do to help your body. Because there are herbal supplements that can help jumpstart the healing process.
oh, wow. Okay. There is actionable steps you can take to make people feel better. I love that. Well, we're going to end on this tip because I thought this was brilliant. You shared, set yourself up for weekly success, fuel your body and mind so the heavy lifting feels so much lighter. So,
Mhm.
this is something that you help people with, obviously.
Absolutely. And I think some of it you and I have in our previous conversations, we've talked about before, like deciding what your food is going to be for the week and prep some of it so that you can eat what you want during the week rather than having to stop off at, a fast food place. because
Right.
you've already made it. Like for me, if I don't make, I really like soups because I think they're easy. It's like one pot. I can put them in the freezer if I'm not going to eat them. But it's really easy for me to make a big pot of soup on the weekend. And then if I, for some reason, don't have time or I haven't prepped a meal, I can just grab some soup. We still got dinner, y'all. You know?
I love that. Yeah, and
Um,
it also, is in my head, I think, well, I've already taken the time to make it. I don't wanna waste that time, right?
mm,
And 2, I've already spent the money on the thing I made for, or let's be honest, my husband has made for dinner.
love it.
I'm so spoiled.
Perfect.
But you think, "Okay, he's already made it," like, even though I'm hungry now and I have a half hour to drive home, I'm not gonna stop and buy something to top myself off before I get home because I know and it would hurt his feelings if I didn't eat what he made. So I
Yeah.
think, yeah, that's
I do like to
3
carry
levels.
yeah, I do like to carry a few nuts in my purse just in
Mm,
case I am starving because I used to find a
right.
few raw almonds or cashews or something can just get you through,
I
right? Because
lo
sometimes
I
at 4 o'clock, you're like, I don't know if I can make it.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I mean, I literally sometimes get headaches from being hungry, like, if I don't but I carry my water now, is that a thing too? Is there, like, too much water? I mean, I've been tested, I'm not diabetic at all, I'm actually the opposite, my doctor said. But is there, like, drinking I sometimes I'm hungry, I drink water to fill my tummy. Is that wrong, or is there, like, a limit?
Well, I would say if you're hungry, eat. I don't know
Mhm.
that
No,
there's
I
too
mean
much of everything.
water-wise. I meant,
Right.
is
So
there
like,
too much
I mean,
water?
if people are being waterboarded, then that's probably too much. But for most of us humans, it's going to be hard to drink too much water naturally.
Okay.
However, if you find that you are drinking, 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 and you're not getting satiated, you may have a mineral imbalance, right? So you
Oh.
might want to add a little bit of Celtic sea salt to your water, or maybe have some coconut water, which has potassium. You might want to check out your minerals.
Oh, that's fantastic. Wow, okay. Right there, solution
Who knew?
provided. Who knew? I love it. Okay, so if people want to get a hold of you, Claudine, is it best just to go to this website, in good taste? No, ingoodcleantaste.com, or is there
Yes.
any other way people should get a hold of you?
That is a great way. There is a way to contact me there. I have some free guides. I have lots of recipes on there too. And of course,
Oh,
my show with you is on there.
awesome.
Yay.
Yeah, because you actually don't you like show people how to make certain things as well?
Yes, I have a free master class on how to set your week up. If you want to know how to meal prep by just 1 hour for the whole week, there's a free
Oh,
master class.
really? Okay, so and you can find that on that website?
Yes.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
actually on
that
the
is
front page, top of the page.
what a blessing you are. Thank you
Oh,
so much, Claudine. Seriously, like, I think,
thanks.
as you said, women just think, we'll just keep going, and eventually everything will work out. But then you burn yourself out to the point where, the analogy of being in an airplane, and they say, put the mask on yourself first, then you can help others. If we don't
Mhm.
feel good, how are we going to help the people in our life? Not just in business, but in our kids, our husband, our lives, right? So,
Yep.
I think what you're doing is amazing, and you are helping so many people with the gifts that you've been given and that you're using. So I just want to thank you on behalf of the world.
Thank you, and the world. Well, I'm so grateful for you. I watch every one of your shows. They are amazing. I learned so much.
You're so sweet. You're so sweet. All right, everybody. Well, that wraps it up for our Brilliant Marketing with Mary show and Claudine show. Um, We're so excited that you were here to learn all about how to be healthy so you can serve the world in a better and higher way. And next week, again, next Thursday, we'll have another amazing show. I feel so blessed to be able to talk with so many brilliant women who are out there changing the world and making it a better place. So don't you love that, Colleen, on
It's
your show, Claudine?
yes, I'm so grateful. It's such a wonderful blessing.
Yes, that's awesome. All right, guys. Thanks again for your time. And I will look forward to seeing you next week here on the Brilliant Marketing with Mary show. And here we go. Bye. Thank you for joining me today. You can learn more about me, my products, and services at anotherbrilliantidea.com because everyone needs another brilliant idea. Make sure to join me for another episode every Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific or 2:30 Central on my globally recognized show, Brilliant Marketing with Mary.